Hello, everyone. Welcome back to more chess. Before we play a live game, I had a couple games I played off camera that I wanted to review. After I think my last four games on channel were all losing, and today when I had a few minutes, I played a couple games off camera, and I happened to win both of them, so that was sort of nice. And I thought, let's look at them. I think they might be the first off camera games I played on the channel, aside from that one a bit ago that I recorded and it was so horrible I didn't upload it. I'm not counting that one. Um, But yeah, this is the first one I actually intentionally chose not to record. I just didn't uh, have an opportunity. Wasn't convenient. Anyway, oh, it shows you the end of the game. That's no fun. So this one I thought was pretty good. I mean, 4 inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, 1 blunder, only 21 centipon loss is quite good for me. And you can see here that there was kind of some little small mistakes for both sides in the beginning. And then my opponent made a blunder, which I gave most of back. And then, oh, all of apparently. And then everything just kind of went my way starting in the middle game. So let's look at what happened here. Um, yeah, developing all this stuff. And I still don't totally understand why it's telling me I can take this pawn. I followed this through, and it was like I end up losing the knight. Like, I don't know. Let me see if it'll remind me why this works. Like, there goes the knight. Oh, right. Yes. Gosh, dang it. This. I looked at the review of this, and I was like, yeah, this is what I should pay attention to. But, like, right, this. If you can attract two pieces to be like this from each other and push a defended pawn to attack them, that's really good. And I didn't recognize the possibility of that. This two move tactic. Um, just like not the kind of thing I'm really good at noticing yet. So okay, I missed it. And it says, "Oh, it's still there. Go for it." But I didn't. We all got castled. I don't remember what this was about. I'm just trying to fianchetto the bishop, maybe, or provide support for this one. Who knows? And then, like out of the clear blue sky comes this bishop sack, and Stockfish says it's horrible. And I didn't immediately see why it seemed good to my opponent. I was like, okay, I'll take it, I guess. But this quickly developed into an attack that was really scary to me. Stockfish is saying, "Don't attack. It's not going to work. Just you lost the piece. Don't make it worse." But my opponent goes in for a knight here, and this king move does not occur to me at all. I think it should, because my opponent's next move was queen here, and you can sort of see that might be inconvenient, and you might prefer to have your king not be checked. But my idea was, let's move the knight and discover an attack on their knight to get it out of the way. I thought that would be pretty cool, and they would have to move the knight, but they didn't. They developed the queen with an attack, and only then moved the knight. I mean, honestly, though, looking at it, like, they could have just played knight here anyway, right? I'm not sure what the value of... Whoops. Oh, I didn't play... Yeah, I thought I played knight here. I actually played knight here. Which of those is better, by the way? This is minus 1 point, or plus 1.2. Oh, yeah, this just loses the knight. That's why I didn't do that. Sure. So I went here, which is really bad, apparently, because it blocks the square my king wants to be in, protecting this pawn. And now it's like, okay, I get in here. But there's this queen and knight working together against my king, and a bishop pinning a pawn to the king and providing more threats. And it just seems overall really scary. What did I do next? I'm trying to remember. I don't think I even noticed that the knight could take this pawn, but I'm not sure what I could do about it. I think I pushed this pawn, right? That would make sense. Yeah. It says it's a distant second best. This is kind of cool because it threatens to chase the knight away. But I was like, oh, this will chase the knight away, and it like also pins it to the queen, right? Um, but it doesn't work. This comes with check, and then the queen can move. Although they decided to go in even harder for this, and I was like, this is kind of scary, right? Um, oh right. I mean, it is a little scary, but also I was like, I can. It looks like I'm losing the rook, but I'm not because the queen is still under attack. So this is like fine, but they are like giving away more material to increase the effectiveness of other attackers and reduce what I have in the area. I thought, but actually, they don't end up getting this rook. They just traded the knight for this pawn, and then can't quite get the bishop involved. And rook here was a neat idea, which I didn't see. My idea was this to attack the queen, but this also works and a little bit better. And they went in for queen here, and the queen has now only one, I believe, safe square. Let's double check. These are all no good. No, this is still fine. This space here is all right. Isn't it? No, the king takes. Right. So these are all no good. Let's mark them in red. Can't go here. The bishop takes, or here. Can't go to either of these because the rook will get you. Can't go down here because the king or queen will get you. Can't go here because the rook will get you. Here the pawn will get you, or the bishop. So this is kind of the only safe space for the queen right here. So she's still like threatening my king, and if they could get any more pieces in here, it would be scary. But she's also in some danger herself. I played this knight here to try to chase away the knight. Um, but it doesn't actually like does it work? I guess so. I got to trade away the knight, but now they have this threat here. But I have the queen guardian, so it's okay, right? And they decide to go for this attacking the rook thing. I don't really want to spend time moving the rook, and they've improved their bishop so that it's a little bit further forward. However, this move is just killer, and I find it because it not only attacks the queen, it also takes away her last remaining safe square. And it doesn't uncover any of the spaces we were attacking before. So the queen is now going to be captured, and it's just a matter of like what can they do to lessen the blow. And they decide to go for this, which at least costs me my own queen, and I'm only up a bishop. And after this, the game just sort of falls apart. Nothing much happens. The rook gets in, but I chase it away. And they try to pin the knight, but don't notice my bishop is attacking that square. And I trade a little material to expose their king and make things simpler. And they try to bring this rook in, but it doesn't really work. And I just trade away here. And then I'm like, okay, the king's in the corner. Let's get all the pieces up there. Meanwhile, they're like, I'll try and push some pawns, I guess. But I just kind of quietly checkmate them while their pawn gets at the day of his... The day of your life? Is that a thing you say? The day of his life? That doesn't feel quite right. Anyway, so we ended up with a cute little checkmate here. There was apparently something a bit faster here. Right, I could have just checkmated here. Check. This file is covered, so the king has to go over to this file and then mate. Oh well. I saw that this was an easy win, so I took it. But it would be nice to spot things like this earlier checkmates. So that was the first game I played. And then I played this one. As black. Went for this. And apparently, I still don't, like, as you know, I don't really know anything about openings. I know in the Sicilian you, like, go like this, or sometimes you go like this, or I think sometimes it's okay to push this pawn, but I don't really understand in what situation which is better. It apparently says, well, I don't know. This is, like, not great, but I guess it's not much worse than this. It's just, like, white is still ahead. Okay, fine. And they develop this bishop to attack here. I deflect that. And I missed a chance here. Something I didn't quite see. This pawn is dead. My idea was, okay, the pawn looks a little vulnerable here now. And I was like, I'll try advancing this pawn, fianchetto the bishop, and add fuel that way. But that's a bit too slow. They have a chance to do this and this. Instead, what I should do is just develop the queen here, put a second attacker on it, and if they put a second defender on, I can take it away. And I just win this pawn. Right? So here, they're like, well, just give up on that pawn, I guess. But I didn't do that. And I don't really remember why this is good. I guess it's like confronting this pawn. Sure. But I went in for this, and they now get a pretty solid pawn chain. And it says take, which I do, weakening the pawn chain, but it's still pretty good. And I tried developing the knight so I can get castled. And then I go for this, which is, I think, my blunder of the game. Yeah. Only one mistake, one blunder, no inaccuracies. I'm trying to remember why this is wrong. Looking at it, I don't immediately see it. Oh, it, like... I don't remember. Let's see. They take here would be... This is exploring what could have happened. Although they did actually take. I take back. And they get to develop this knight attacking the pawn, and I can't really do anything about it. Yeah. I mean this, but it's not stable. This? It's okay, but I bet they can add more attackers somehow. Like... queen here or something. So I think the problem is that this drops... It weakens my d-pawns by giving them a chance to capture here. And really improves their pawn... the usefulness of their pawn center. So that's why this was a mistake. I should just, like, try to break these pawns down. If they have just this one pawn here, it's not so bad. But I didn't do that. And they missed the chance to capitalize, but I'm still well behind, because the pawn is just a persistent weakness. And I do go for this, yeah. I think the idea was to this pawn either has to take or push, and in either case, the pawn is falling, right? I mean, it's not like I win a pawn, but I get to trade pawns. Their pawn is insane, and my pawn sucks. And the pawn push also does something else cool. It opens up the bishop. And so my opponent goes in for this knight takes pawn business, which it turns out creates a weakness that I didn't see at all, but that I think ends up mattering a little bit. We can look at the next two moves that happen and then imagine, what if the knight were still here? So, okay, trades, and they're up a pawn. Because they took this pawn and then I just trade this one. But now I have this bishop move pinning the knight and taking away the second defender of this pawn. I could, in principle, just, like, jump in here and take it, I guess, if I wanted. No, I couldn't. Right. Because I only had two attackers that defended twice. Got it. So my idea was, I know, I'll stop the knight from defending. And if they push the pawn, then, well, okay, I don't know. I can take here. And at least I get rid of their monster pawn and I maybe develop some ideas. And if they don't push the pawn, I have, like, this, right? Taking away if they try to, like, move the queen, then I can take away the defender directly. And if they don't move the queen, they can't defend. So I was trying to win the pawn here. And my opponent makes now a mistake of trying a counterattack against my queen. Um, and the problem with this is that I can just take a knight and still be attacking their queen. Um, Now they go in for this trading queens business, but we each are currently hanging a bishop, and I'm up a knight in this whole exchange. Now just imagine, would it be any better if this knight were still here? I guess not. Okay, fine. I was thinking, okay, but then they have a defender here, but they have plenty of defenders. It's the rook. So maybe the knight move here wasn't the blunder so much as just like not doing something else. Huh. I guess I was supposed to do this first. It doesn't really matter. Interesting. Why am I so ahead? Or like, why am I no longer so behind? I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, so suddenly I'm winning, which is great. And they should, it says, rather than accepting the bishop trade while they're down material, go in for this, saving their bishop and attacking my rook. Well, wait, it's not saving their bishop. Because I can trade with knight. Why is this good? It says evacuate your bishop, but why don't I just do this? Ah, this knight recapture comes with check. I see. So the advantage of this is it actually does save their bishop. And it leaves mine still attacked as well as my rook. So instead of trading material evenly, they get to win the exchange. But opponent didn't do that. They just said, well, guess I better trade bishops. And then they let me trade rooks, and I still get the pawn. And they let me trade minor pieces. And this is kind of cute. They're threatening this pawn, and I could defend, but it's actually better to do this. Threatening mate in one. And now, my thought was, okay, yeah, you can check here, but I'm not really sure why. I was just like, let's just go here. It defends the only thing they're attacking. It makes the rook leave my position. Great. But instead, they actually just trade rooks. And now I'm in the endgame up an entire knight. And, you know, my conversion was not perfect according to Stockfish, but it was totally fine, and then they resigned. Okay. So I was happy to win a couple games. A nice change. Oh, yeah. There we go. Let's just start a 15-10 game. Dirty opening seminar at the St. Louis Chess Club. Is that Ben Feingold? Okay, anyway. Oh, I almost hit the stop recording button because I'm used to pressing start recording when a game shows up. Playing black against Lutchess. Opponent is, yeah. I was like, they're not moving. But fine. Maybe they just had to, like, get back to the tab or something. Okay, so this is exactly what came up last game, and it says this is a little bit better than moving the knight first. Okay. I remember going to some effort in a previous game to try to hang on to this, and it ended up being wrong, and I should just trade here to make a little hole in there to take away their pawn duo immediately. And I'll just develop a knight. Let's develop this knight. Comes with some threat. Not that it's hard for them to defend. This would be fine, I'm sure. But I don't know if that's a pawn move they're thrilled to make. Well, we don't want to play knight here because this square is attacked twice and defended only once. Bishop here seems fine, though. I didn't see this coming. Obviously, like, it would be nice to have known about it. But just blocking with either piece here seems fine, knight or bishop. Not queen, obviously. Even this knight is like, it stops the check, but we want to develop something. And I think the bishop is best because it's easy for it to unpin itself by trading. And this puts their knight in a bind as well. He's like stuck here, and I could like, well, no, because if I try to push the knight away, they can go in for this trade. But I think that's fine actually. Oh, I see. Or also here, they could now just leave with the knight because this knight is defending. Okay. But this, I like this. This gets me a better center. I don't think the fact that my bishop is pinned is an issue yet. And I don't really want to invite this knight further forward. He seems like a horrible, horrible monster to have to work around. So let's just threaten this knight. Make him go away. He doesn't have anywhere good to go inside my position at the moment. I guess here. But then I could trade and... I don't know. And we'll eventually, I think, develop the dark square bishop to e7. Fianchettoing is a little bit nicer, but this is a... I was able to open up a space for the bishop here with at least some amount of tempo, right? This would cost me a tempo. White can kind of do whatever they want. Whereas after this, white has to spend another move on this knight. So that gets the bishop developed. I don't think it's worth spending another turn to get it developed somewhere different. Another move, I guess, is what chess folks would say. They go in for this trade. That's interesting. Why? There's a lot of pieces I could take with here. Oh, I guess this knight was busy over here, wasn't he? So if they leave, say like that, then I could have taken here, forcing the knight away, and then win this? That's kind of cute. I didn't realize I had done that. So that's why they went in for this trade. I think I should develop the knight. Getting him to here is fine. Maybe I might prefer something like this, but I don't currently have the option to do that so well. And I don't want the queen out right now, I don't think. How would she be here? Would she be happy or sad? I think she might be happy, actually, because it takes away stuff like this. And I want her looking at this pawn so that when this knight moves, they don't have this attack as... Or, you know, the bishop's taking an eye on it, taking care of it now, but I think I'll actually take with queen. I don't see any immediate issues for her. And it lets my knight develop this way, which I prefer. Right, my opponent's light square bishop is gone already, so light squares are somewhat safer for a queen. Okay, I mean, yeah, well, I shouldn't develop the bishop now because of this. But I think I'm okay just kicking the knight. What's wrong with that? Where's he gonna go? Here? 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 Those are kind of his three moves? No, he can't go here. The queen is guarding, but so is my bishop. So I think this is fine. And it lets me put a bishop on a great square. I kind of wanted this. I'm not sure. Like, it might be important for me to keep an eye on this pawn and not develop this way, but I don't mind being given the chance to create a flight square with tempo. There's stuff like this, but I don't think it does anything. I still don't know where I'm supposed to put my bishop is the problem. This square is insane. They're going to be trying to get a bunch of knights there, huh? Means I need to work against this pawn somehow. It's on a light square, pretty tough to get to. Queen here adds an attacker to it, I guess. It takes away the square my knight wants to develop to. Maybe, can I just work around this knight? I don't know if I can. But I don't have much choice. Whew. I can try pushing this pawn, which is sacrificing it. For sure. Or actually probably this. It gives me this, like, check with the bishop, but I don't think that's worth anything. I guess I could try to go here and try to trade my bishop for this knight, because their knights are insane. Or about to become insane. I don't know. There's also, like, you know, I could try to get here. This would be kind of a more productive way to do so that doesn't involve stopping on crummy squares on the way. But my queen is in the way of that. Maybe I could just go like this. Or, well, it doesn't really work. Just try to get my knight to a good square and live with the fact that theirs is also on a good square. I don't like it, but I don't like anything at the moment. Hmm. And they just castled, and I still don't know what to do. Fair enough. Putting a bishop here leaves it undefended, so this knight move, say, would be a discovery. But there aren't any. Oh, there are knight moves that are discoveries that would make me a little sad, I think. Well, no. Here, let's say here, attacks this knight, but I can trade bishops and then get the knight out. Actually, that would be just horrible. I would, well, I don't know, it might be okay. No, I would win the knight, actually. So I still could do this. And kind of force them to commit the knight, I guess. Which they do. And I think it's more important for me to make sure I get a knight off the board than it is to trade bishops. Right? Knight takes, suppose they take my bishop. I take the other knight, that would be great. I would love that. Then all they can put here is a queen, and I can deal with her because she can't afford to just stay there. So knight takes. If they instead recapture with knight, now I can go in for the bishop trade or move my bishop. But I think I'll trade. Oh, but this! Well, no, I can still make this trade and then move my knight. I don't think they want to do that. I think they want this, and then I trade bishops as well. They have the safer king, so I'm... Oh, interesting. They want to keep the bishop. Okay. Well, I can get the knights out of here. They're stopping me castling. I guess there is some value in that. But I hurt their pawn structure. I can castle the other way. It's not that bad. It's not ideal. But I do want to get out of the center. Okay. I think I'm going to castle queenside. Pretty scary. And then work against this pawn. Or these pawns. They're going to try to double up here, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Now I can actually push this if I want. Now that I think of it. Challenge this e-pawn. What is that all about? They get this. Do they, though? Yeah, I mean, I guess in opposite sides castling, you want to be pushing pawns on the side you have rooks. Or on the side you're... I don't know. Shouldn't they be pushing other pawns? So what's the deal here? This square is well defended. And if this... They get this file, and I don't think I can stop them from getting that file exactly. What if I go here, though? If takes would be fine. If takes discovering an attack on the queen seems okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. Now this pawn is actually defended fairly well for me. And I think maybe I don't attack either. I don't like trade with either pawn if I can help it. Because initiating either trade seems sort of bad for me. Okay. Now, something like this kind of looks promising, so it attacks that pawn, but it's not, because they get this discovery attacking my queen. So we go here. This bishop has got to be getting a little uncomfortable, no? That's why they want to do this. I wonder... No, I couldn't have gone here because there was a white pawn here. So I think they really should take here, yeah. And now the bishop has an escape route. I don't think I have any better ideas than just like taking this pawn, which I could do with a knight or a pawn. Do I want this file to open up? Yeah, I think I want these pawns connected. And my queen can stand a trade, so... Likewise, even if they try to deflect my queen... God, clicking is so hard. The rook is here, so it's like fine. This rook sack does not work. Ah! But the queen trade does give them this pawn. That's nice. I missed that. Okay. I could go up here, but this rook defends pretty easily. And so I'm thinking instead of this, I can attack the bishop, but I don't want to. It just gives them an excuse to move it to a better square like here. This also threatens doubling, which could be useful. I don't know. I guess I could have just doubled if I wanted to do that. Maybe I should have. Now, I believe I can just go here, right? I guess they get this then? Then I can push the pawn. These pawns, I have to be able to do something with them. I don't know. It's not like my pawns are all that great. Oh, I can't push because that drops a rook. So here ties me up a bit. I think I would have to work on some other, yeah. So it has 3 attackers and 3 defenders. And I guess they're threatening this, maybe? Can I involve my king, or is that too dangerous? I could attack the bishop, which makes it move, but doesn't accomplish much else. It does, I guess, at the moment, come with some tempo. I get to defend this pawn a little bit more easily, and they still have to move in response, so I think this is fine. And then I want something like this, maybe? I don't know. I don't want to trade these pawns for this crummy pawn, so I kind of want to get my king over. Oh, actually, they can do this, and then it hasn't really accomplished anything to move my rook. Yeah, that's true. Well, I was going to move my king anyway. What am I so worried about? Here? I can block with knight, but I don't want to. Are they threatening to get behind this? I don't think that would be very good. This would allow rook here, but I think if I go there, I'm fine? Well, we just have to survive for 70 seconds and win the game. I don't know who's winning. It seems like probably not me, but these pawns are a little bit weak, and I'm well coordinated on the square that matters. Maybe it's okay. And they kind of have to make a bishop move now, right? Here or here. Well, okay, they could try this first, but I still think this is okay. Oh, it's not. It's a good thing they didn't do that. Excuse me? Why don't I just take the bishop? So if here, sorry, if they had gone here and I tried this, I believe this would have been checkmate. Yeah, I can't go that way and I can't go over here. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm going to take the bishop. I don't see what's wrong with this. I now have like this with check, perhaps even. Seems like things have greatly improved all of a sudden. If here I have this. And if I can get my king here, he'll do a great job of preventing the rooks from interfering any further. Because he covers all of their entry squares. And is also shielded from checks. Although, only because there happens to be a knight here at the moment. So, okay. They're trying to enter. I think I want to go here. Is there some reason that doesn't work? I don't think so at the moment. Like, I guess here would be kind of cool, but I had this covered. Here, sorry. Here, what? I don't know. If there's something cool here, I'm missing it. This, I guess? But the king covers it. Here's, sorry. Here's not much good. Takes, and we've traded rooks and I'm still up material. White resigned. Ooh. So I think, like, we kind of got lucky that my opponent got distracted. Had left the game briefly after this move, and once I moved my king, forgot that you have to move the rook, bishop. Okay, well, a lucky win, I think. My play wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. Interesting. So several like big mistakes that my opponent didn't capitalize on here and here, apparently. All right, let's see what that was all about. So it does not like pushing away the knight. Maybe go in for this. Oh, right, didn't I? I noticed that after this, they have to trade. Maybe there was something good involving, like, if I trade first? I don't know. It seemed pretty cool to get this pawn developed, I thought. Can I, like, maybe get away with this somehow? No, surely not. Takes. And then if I try this, they still have a knight there. I don't know. What's the answer? Just trade. But why? Suppose that we do not trade. Suppose I do this. It's saying they go in for this. I agree. It does like going up with the queen. And then they get out of here, and okay, white is still ahead. Fine. So if I follow their advice instead and trade here, what's the advantage that I get out of this? I guess I've distracted one of their knights from looking at this square. Maybe, but why do they take with that knight? Why not with, let's say, this one? Okay, I can kick it away in a different way, I guess. They go back, and now I don't kick it. You just develop something, huh? Alright, I don't understand at all why this was wrong. Oh, no, I see. It's just a positional thing, and it totally happened in the game. And it's not a tactic thing. The problem is this square, right? This was giving them this amazing square. And then shortly after I made the move, I was like, boy, this square looks amazing for them. I wonder how that happened. And it's like, it's because you played this. This looks kind of nice. It's chasing away a knight, but actually it doesn't chase it very far. But the problem is you make this square forever a huge problem. So I should have been aware of the problem of creating this hole. I need this pawn available to control this. The square my opponent has the ability to control best. I should have a pawn hanging out. Okay. I'm sure I'll make many more mistakes like that, but at least now I understand what was wrong with that move. Okay, it doesn't like this either. It does create a hole here, but I didn't think that was that big a deal. Maybe now was my chance to break this down. Just push here. Does that work? I guess so. It's defended twice, but it's attacked 3 times. So I don't think that works. I think that would allow this. And I just lose a pawn. And I don't think this works. They just take it. I could develop a knight. I guess, like, if this isn't any good, developing the knight is the obvious second choice. But it's bad. Okay, what do I do? I can get away with this. Why? Why not just take? Oh! It's taking away the defender of this knight. I see. So takes, and they're like, okay, trade this in, but I get here and here. And in the end, we're even on material. Sorry. Here we go. We're even on material. We both won a knight and a pawn. But the pawn that I lost kind of sucks, and their pawn was, like, their strongest piece. And I get this insane pawn center out of it. Okay. Don't do this because it invites here. Trade bishops first? No, that's horrible. Right. There's this fork. Yes. I can't just castle. Pretty sure I can't do this. Is there some reason I can't? Knight's not under attack, so it's not like the whole taking away the defender thing we did last time. And they would just take my bishop. Tie the bishop in here, they scoop up the knight and the queen. Seems bad. Huh. Maybe I have to move the knight to guard this square? Like here? But he just, like, is so vulnerable there. He can be kicked away easily. And then if I move him, they have this, and I lose the game. So that, I don't think it can be a knight move to up here. This is not a very nice knight move to have to make, and it's the only other one possible. It could be a queen move to guard the knight. There aren't many of those. Maybe here? No, that drops the bishop. I have no idea. Oh, move the bishop to defend the knight. But I just did this. I had this idea of trading, so it would be kind of inconsistent with what I had done. But I guess something I should be alert to is that this square is really important, because it's threatening this fork if they can ever get a knight there, and so a bishop guarding it would be nice. It's also a hole in my pawn position. I just thought I wanted to get more pieces off, and this seemed like a good way to try to do it, but apparently it's better to just defend this, and my bishop is pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is a good bishop or a bad bishop. This is a nice square for a bishop in general, so maybe that's a good enough reason to keep him. Now, it's a draw, and it says this is a blunder. It loses the game. What do they do that wins the game against it? I think that's the right thing to answer before deciding what I should have played instead. So just at the moment, there are 3 pieces for each side aiming here, so the pawn is stable. I suppose I could just say, forget that pawn, I'm taking this one. It's not defended. And they have this pawn if they want it, but then I get this one, and I'm, like, suddenly on the second rank. Yeah. Maybe I was just too focused on this guy. He's really hard to defend. Let's just give him up. This is fine. What it actually prefers, apparently, is to attack the bishop in a different way. a way that doesn't involve going to a dark square. Sure. I thought it was kind of cool to be defending this pawn, but actually I'm going to have to move the rook again anyway. So what is it that they do after this? Ah, they pin the rooks to each other. Yeah. Okay. Well, no blunders after that. Pretty much immediately checkmate. Or not checkmate, but won the bishop and then it was over. Yeah, so it thinks king here is pretty good. Maybe not the best move. Maybe it is. But okay. And then pretty shortly they gave up. Oh, I'm like, wait, they didn't go this far. That's because it's hitting the stockfish next move, not the actual game next move. Yeah. Oh, and now it's still going through the stockfish moves, I guess. No? Did this all actually happen? I don't remember this, but it's showing up in the notation. Oh, it's in italics. This is I see. Italics means this didn't happen, but you're thinking about if it had. I would have thought it shows up as a notation here, like this, but I guess if there was no mainline move, it puts your first exploration here. That's interesting. Okay. So they actually resigned here. Yeah. Okay, so this is a nice cute little thing I should have definitely found. Let's go back to the opening and just look at like what was this called. Is Openings Explorer online yet? It is. Thanks, Lichess. So it likes this. It likes pawn here. It says that's fine, and I should capture. Or else develop my knight to f6. And now, yeah, okay. It doesn't think they should develop the bishop. It says I should block with bishop. This is sort of weird. Why is it that after making the best move, it changes its idea of the evaluation? I guess we lost a lot of depth. So basically here... Okay. Anyway, this is apparently the best move, according to some fairly deep analysis. Fine. And what if we look down here? It says it's played substantially more often by strong players and leads to a better win rate for white, but only like a little bit. It could be sampling error, who knows. So it says knight b to d7 is actually better for black by a noticeable amount, but I don't know. These sample sizes are still sort of small. And the fact that good players play this suggests that it's probably the most solid line. Maybe this is like an unusual line that people aren't always prepared for or something. I don't know. So here's where we deviated. And it says, like, I mean, nobody plays e5. It's only occurred 3 times in high-level games. You're supposed to take here. Okay. But this was apparently the modern variation of the Sicilian. And I feel like I did okay in the opening. Made it, you know, into the middle game with no huge, well, okay, one huge disaster. Yeah, when I made this pawn so amazing. And I tried to make it better, but, well, I don't know. I don't quite understand why. I thought, yes, this attacks the knight, but isn't this okay? I don't know. Somehow after all these trades, I'm down a minor piece, so maybe it's not good. Oh, it's because if we continue trading, they're attacking my queen in the end. I see. So I can't rescue the bishop. That's cool. Okay, that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.